gonna do. I'm gonna try and study a little bit more. So I can't remember what I went over in CCC class. Nothing. Okay. Nothing that day. Mostly it's just anatomy for today. But I can talk a little bit about well, mostly this is stuff that I'm looking over right now that only a veterinarian is legally allowed to do in the first place. So there's 3 things that only a veterinarian can do. Surgicate, or surgery. Hey, Lauren. Surgery, prescription, and diagnosis. Like if you're not a veterinarian or a doctor, but in this case a veterinarian, you can't do those 3 things. But there's also a bunch of I just don't really know how to explain a lot of this stuff. If your dog has white gums or pale gums, gingiva, which is the gums, right? That's probably not a good sign. That could be a real bad deal. Or if they've got purple gums, yellow gums, kind of common sense. If they don't look normal, there's something wrong. But if it's white, if they're white, that's a medical emergency. If they're yellow, could be liver problems. Pretty much all these are not something you want. Hey, how's it going? And if they're, hey, exotic. If they are purple or blue, then your dog, your animal's not getting enough oxygen, probably. Ugh. Yeah, some of these are disgusting. There's just ways to tell. If their eyes don't look right, then they're probably not right. If their teeth don't look right, then they're probably not right. A lot of this is common sense, but then you can bring it to a veterinarian. for more specific help. If your dog doesn't seem to be doing well, it's probably not doing well. Dogs are usually happy. I wish I could show you this picture here. They're usually like playful, wagging their tail, that sort of thing. And if they're not doing that, chances are it's because there's something wrong. Or they're scared. Could be that they're scared. I mean, there's definitely something wrong if they're comatose. A lot of it is common sense. Pain scores. Yeah, there's pain scores. If your animal is like just not moving, chances are it's in a lot of pain. Because like if it's just laying on the ground, not able to move. Hey, Dolce, or I don't know if I said that right, Dolce. But yeah, if your animal's laying on the ground, it's either just sleeping or it's in a lot of pain. I'm doing all right. How about you? I've got probably some sinus congestion right now, but that's about it. Animals can be shy and they can be scared. What am I doing? I'm trying to review my vet school notes, and I'm also, first of all, I'm not a veterinarian. I'm reviewing my notes so that I can study, kind of, but also doing it to maybe teach other people. But I'm also talking to viewers, so. Yeah, some animals can be shy and some can be scared, and when they're scared they can start biting and stuff, so you gotta be careful. And of course, hand washing is a good idea. Yeah, a lot of this is common sense. Thank you. You too. Have a great day. Okay. So, in anatomy lab, so animals, whenever they're first born, in most cases they don't have, hey Aiden, good to see you again. In most cases, when animals are first born, they don't have a good immune system. I mean, they're missing a lot of antibodies. Their adaptive immune system is, they just came out of the womb. They're not ready most of the time. In humans, they pretty much are. But in dogs, cows, it's different. They need something called colostrum, which contains antibodies that the mother has, which is good. Most times it's local, and so they have generated these antibodies according to antigens in the local area. And so it's best if you can get a young animal antibodies from its mother, but if not, you can get them from a surrogate mother or something like that. But they need those, or else they can get really sick. But you can also just do IV injections of antibodies later if you fail to get those antibodies. Okay, sorry. Nose is still clogged. Okay, I'm going to go over a bunch of anatomy. Now, the abdomen. Starting off with the abdomen. In the abdomen, there's the liver, the esophagus, the esophagus kind of goes through the thorax into the abdomen. The diaphragm contains the abdomen away from the thorax. You have the gallbladder, we have the stomach, we have the pylorus of the stomach, the pancreas, proximal duodenum, or duodenum, however you say it. The jejunum is the largest part of the small intestine. Then there's the bladder, rectum, ascending, transverse, and descending colon. Yeah. Cats have something called a primordial pouch. It's the belly, their hanging belly. That's normal. They all have that. Some have a little bit more of a hanging belly than others. Depends on the breed, I guess. But they have it there for protection, stretching while running, and to help the abdomen expand after a large meal. Does not mean that they're overweight, that's just there. Okay, then there's mammary glands. Cats usually have 8. Hey, how's it going? And dogs usually have 10. Dogs have a cranial thoracic, caudal thoracic, cranial abdominal, caudal abdominal, and then they have an inguinal at the very bottom. Cats only have a thoracic, and then a cranial and caudal abdominal, and then an inguinal set of mammary glands. Nipples. That's what mammary glands are, pretty much. They secrete milk. Mammary glands. Okay, and then they have lymph nodes all around the body. There's the axillary and the sternal lymph nodes. The superficial inguinal lymph nodes close to the inguinal area, right near the inguinal ring. And then, yeah, mammary tumors are pretty common. Not a good sign. They're commonly malignant. 50% of mammary tumors in dogs are malignant, and 85% of mammary tumors in cats are malignant. Pretty crazy. There's a lot of muscles of the abdomen. There's the external abdominal oblique muscle. It's the outermost layer. There's something called the aponeurosis, which is a dense connective tissue structure connecting these muscles to the abdominal wall. Well, these are the muscles that make up the abdominal wall. So they just connect it to their insertion, which is like all along. They have a very long insertion, basically. There's something called an inguinal ligament. And then there's the external inguinal ring, which is, it's just a slit, and the aponeurosis. Okay, and then there's the IAO. So we just had the EAO, the external abdominal oblique. Now we have the IAO, which, if you can think about external versus internal, right? Internal abdominal oblique. So external, internal, and then we have transverse abdominis. That's an even further internal muscle. Okay, and then we have the rectus abdominis. That's literally like, you know how people have abs? That's what that is. That's the muscle, rectus abdominis. What's good, twin? Everything. Everything's good. Pretty much for right now. I mean, I've got a lot of studying to do, but just, you know, I'll get to it. No, I'm not a doctor. Not yet. Almost, though. I have, like, well, I'm halfway through my first semester of vet school, so I'll be a veterinarian soon, in about 4 years, I guess. So not that soon, at least it doesn't feel that soon. But soon enough, I guess. Okay, muscles of the abdominal wall. And then there's something called the rectus sheath. It's fused aponeuroses of abdominal muscles surrounding the rectus abdominis muscles. There's a deep leaf, there's a superficial leaf. Yeah. Oh, this is some weird stuff. I really need to study this. It's game day, gang. Who you got? I assume you mean football. I don't watch sports. Sorry to be that guy, but yeah, I don't really watch sports right now. I don't have time. I do like baseball though. That's probably my favorite sport. But if it's a football team, I don't know. My dad liked the, what were they called? The Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, I think that's what they were called. That was his favorite team, at least for the NFL. I'm not an animal doctor yet, but I will be in like 3 3/4 years. Yeah, I think I said that right grammatically. Dr. Pohl's grandson. I don't even know who that is. But anyway, that was his favorite NFL team, and then I think his favorite college team is Oklahoma State University. That's where I'm going right now. That's where he went. You gotta rep the alumni, or I don't know how you say that. Gotta rep the whatever. Oh, Dr. Pole's a famous animal doctor. I didn't know that. That's cool. Hey, Eurus. How you doing? Rectus sheath. Cranial third of the abdomen. No, I'm not in Oklahoma City. I'm in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Sorry, my nose is running. And it's itchy, as always. So annoying. My nose, I can't ever get it to stop itching. But anyway, so the rectus sheath is differently, it's different. Do I see a lot of Indians out there? Actually, yes. There are a lot of people from India here, which is pretty cool. It's a very diverse population. There's also a lot of Native Americans. You know, I wasn't sure what type of Indian you were referring to. I know I like to maintain that Indians are from India, right? Oh, okay, natives. Yeah. No, I mean not as many. I don't see very many Native Americans here. Um, Now, not many going to OSU at least. Not that I can remember. But there's a lot near somewhat. There's a town called Pawnee, very, very close to Stillwater, just like an hour away. Not even that, probably 45 minutes. And yeah, lots of Native Americans here. A lot. Um, Very cool people. Very, very unique cultures. What's my favorite sport? Baseball, probably. You're trying to go out west once you graduate? That's cool. How far west? Are you talking like California or um, Midwest?